Today I'm going to share with you a recipe for scalloped potatoes, which is a great Thanksgiving side dish. The first step is to peel and thinly slice Yukon Gold potatoes. You can also use Idaho potatoes instead of the Yukon Gold. The next step is to thinly slice the potatoes, and I'm just using a knife, but you can also use a mandolin. The potatoes need to be fairly thin since we're not pre-cooking it before putting it into the oven, and you want it to be thin so that it actually cooks and becomes tender. The next thing I'm going to do is to grate the cheddar cheese, and I like to grate it because it just melts better than pre-shredded cheese. And if you are interested in making this recipe, I will have it linked in the description box. Next, over medium heat, I am going to melt butter. Once the butter has melted, I've added crushed garlic, and I'm just going to stir that around and allow it to cook for about 30 seconds to a minute before adding flour. And I'm going to stir this all together just to make sure that that butter and flour is nicely mixed together. I'm going to let this cook for a few minutes before adding the milk. And I'm going to stir it all together just to make sure that that flour mixed well into the milk and there aren't any lumps or clumps. And then just let this cook on medium to medium low until the mixture thickens before adding the shredded cheese. And I'm going to season it with salt and cayenne pepper. And I'm going to mix it all together until the cheese melts and remove it from the heat. Then it's time to layer the potatoes into the dish. And I'm just going to do this in 2 layers. I'll do a bottom layer of the potatoes, some thyme, pour the cheese sauce over it, then do another layer, more thyme, and then pour the additional cheese sauce just to make sure that every bit of potato gets covered in that delicious sauce. Once I've layered the potatoes in my dish, I am just going to add a sprinkling of fresh thyme. Then I am going to pour the sauce all over the potatoes, making sure to cover all of the potatoes. Then I'm going to add the next layer of potatoes and the remaining sauce. Now you guys, at Thanksgiving, I always feel as though there needs to be a potato dish. I love mashed potatoes and gravy. I will have a recipe for that linked below in the description box as well. But if you're not into mashed potatoes and you love potatoes, this is a great option. Let me know in the comments what is your must-have dish at Thanksgiving. And I'll have a list of Thanksgiving dishes below in the description box that I've shared in the past, such as macaroni and cheese, collard greens, twice baked potatoes. So be sure to check that out in the description box. Next, I'm going to add a generous sprinkling of cheese on the top, and then I am going to cover this with foil and place it into the oven. Now this takes quite a while to cook because you need those potatoes to be tender. Place it into the oven, let it cook covered for at least an hour to an hour 15 minutes before removing the foil. Then allow it to cook until the sauce is thickened, the potatoes are tender, and it's nice and golden on top. And as it cools, the sauce will thicken even more. And you guys, this is so good, so decadent and delicious and perfect for the upcoming holidays. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.